potential worries about the pandemic, and provided travel resumes to something like normal.
Do we know what kind of prices destroy demand? We've seen prices higher than this, haven't we? In not all that.
I think you're right. 11, 12, 13, around about that time, we were 100, 110 range. So we have seen these prices before, but I think when that occurred in 11, 12, 13, we didn't have the coincidental sort of gas price and coal price explosion that we have today as well. So I think consumers are getting it from all angles, which is certainly not a good thing. And demand will at the margin be lost because the price elasticity is there. Clearly, as it gets expensive at the pump, people are going to do a little bit less driving.
We've mentioned a lot about how supply is tight. One thing that could change that, though, at least to some degree, is Iran, and whether conversations with Iran result in Iranian fuels coming back to markets, essentially. What is your expectation there? There does seem to be some expectation that's going to happen. It's going to happen this year.
Yeah, I think all the parties have been talking this week, in fact, and it sounds like there's an agreement beginning to form. There's clearly, it's been a long path to get here. So I think the market's assuming something will get done in the next few weeks, and probably the market needs that oil, right? And the second half of the year would benefit from that additional supply, just from a consumer's point of view, that the market will be a little bit more easier to balance. And I think most people have got that factored in for the second half of the year. Most people would expect an additional volume from Iran. Clearly, they're producing oil and they're consuming oil themselves today. So the extra supply that they could send out to the world would probably be about 1 million barrels.
Do you have any sense of how much sort of geopolitical premium there is in the oil price? From what we've discussed, supply and demand dynamics would suggest that oil prices stay elevated even without that geopolitical risk premium. What would you assume would come out if we see these tensions ebb away?
I don't think the geopolitics specifically account for a huge, talking about the Russia-Ukraine conflict, I don't think that accounts for a huge amount of the price premium at the moment.